Hi, good afternoon, students. Welcome to RV online classes. In yesterday's class, we were discussing about Delhi Sultans. In that, we have discussed about this Ghulam dynasty or slave dynasty, and next after that, we have discussed about Khilji dynasty. Okay, from 1290 to 1320. But now in this class, we are going to discuss about Tughlaq dynasty that ruled from 1320 to 1399 Christ era. It means totally 79 years this Tughlaq dynasty ruled Delhi. Okay, 79 years Tughlaq dynasty ruled Delhi. In that 79 years, what are the reformations brought by this Tughlaq dynasty? What are the changes made by this dynasty? We are going to discuss now. Okay, see. Tughlaq dynasty. See, who was the founder of this Tughlaq dynasty? Tughlaq dynasty was founded by Din Tughlaq. He was the founder of this dynasty. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Okay, founded this Tughlaq dynasty. Ghiyasuddin maintained a peace and order in Delhi by implementing Delhi. He maintained law and order, and especially he maintained peace and order in Delhi by implementing liberal administration policies. Okay, liberal means not a full strict rules and regulations. Okay, like that. By implementing liberal administration policies, he strengthened the border to prevent Mongolians attacks or Mongolian invasions. Okay. He built irrigation canals for the benefit of the farmers. Irrigation canals for the benefit of the farmers and lowered the taxes. First, he strengthened the borders. What are the reformations brought by Tughlaq, sorry, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq in Delhi? Following are the reformations brought by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq in Delhi. They are as follows. First, by implementing liberal policies, he maintained peace and order in his kingdom. Second, he strengthened the border in order to prevent Mongolian attacks or invasions. Third one, he built irrigation canals for the benefit of the farmers and lowered the taxes. Next, fourth one, he established the postal system consisting of horsemen and runners. Next, reformation. Okay, he established the postal system which consisting of two men. First one, horsemen. Second one, runners. Okay, he established a postal system which consisting horsemen and runners. Next, he built Tughlaq Port near Delhi. Okay, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq built this Tughlaq port near Delhi. Next, he conquered Madurai, Warangal, and maintained law and order in Gujarat and Bengal. Okay, he conquered Madurai and Warangal and maintained law and order in Gujarat and Bengal. Okay, being as the ruler of Delhi, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq conquered Madurai and Warangal and maintained law and order in Gujarat and Bengal. Okay. The other important rulers of this dynasty are Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Only three important persons are there in this dynasty. See, first, who was the founder of this Tughlaq dynasty? Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Okay, he was the founder of Tughlaq dynasty. They ruled from 1320 to 1399. Total 79 years they ruled. Okay, totally 79 years they ruled. Next, apart from this Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Tughlaq. are the important rulers of this dynasty. Okay, along with this, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and Firoj Tughlaq were important rulers of this dynasty. Okay. See about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was very important in this Tughlaq dynasty. Okay. Who was Muhammad bin Tughlaq? See that he was a scholar of Persian and Arabic languages. Okay, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a scholar of Persian and Arabic languages. He was an expert in mathematics, physics, medicine, Persian poetry, astronomy, and other subjects. Totally, he was an extraordinary man. Okay, Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a scholar of Persian and Arabic languages, and he was an expert in mathematics, physics, medicine, Persian poetry, astronomy, and in other subjects also. Okay, knowledge. Now only I told you he was an extraordinary man. So that's why he was a man of knowledge. He had a few abnormalities in his personality. Okay, he had abnormalities in his personality. He was thinking ahead of his time because he was an extraordinary man. So that's why he was thinking ahead of his time, often centuries. Okay, he was thinking ahead of his time, often centuries ahead, but his officials neither had the integrity, but his officials neither had the integrity nor maturity to implement his plans. Because he was an extraordinary man, because he was a man of knowledge. So that's why he was thinking ahead of his time, often centuries ahead, but his officials neither had the integrity nor maturity to implement his plans. Okay, so that's why to implement his plans. Okay, so that's why is many of his experiments failed. Okay, he was an extraordinary man. Here there is no doubt, but his officials failed to implement his plans. Okay, because they didn't have that much knowledge. See, administrative reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Revenue reforms, first one. An official record that had all the details of lands of the empire was implemented by him. Okay, see what are the revenue reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? First, reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. First, an official record that had all the details of lands the empire was implemented by him. Next, he established a Department of Agriculture. First point, Department of Agriculture. First point, he established a separate department to record the land of empire. Okay, an official record that had all the details of the empire was implemented by him. Second one, he established was implemented by him. Second one, he established a Department of Agriculture. Third one, the uncultivated lands were made cultivable. Uncultivable lands or uncultivated lands were made cultivable. Various schemes were implemented to improve financial assistance to the farmers. Okay, various schemes were implemented to provide financial assistance to farmers. Nowadays, how we have these various financial financial assistance to farmers. Nowadays, how we have these various financial institutions in order to provide financial assistance to the farmers, industrialists, etc. Like that, on that time only, he established a separate institutions in order to provide financial assistance to farmers. Okay. Now, how we have industrial banks, agricultural banks, like that, commercial banks like that. On that time only, he established separate institutions to provide financial assistance to the farmers. Next, but the farmers of Doab had to pay higher land tax during his time. Okay, the farmers, those who have land in Doab region means the land between two rivers. That kind of farmers has to pay higher amount of land tax to the king. Okay, though the farmers of Doab had to pay higher land tax during his time. Okay, because the land between two rivers is a fertile land. So that's why at that time also that was fertile. So that's why that kind of farmers, those who had a land between two rivers, they had to pay a higher amount of land tax. Next, shifting of his capital in administrative reforms. First, we have discussed about revenue reforms. Next, shifting of his capital. Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri in central India. See, Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri, okay, in central India. There are two main reasons behind this move. Why Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri? There are two reasons behind this. They are to establish the capital city at the center of the vast empire. First reason is to establish the capital city at the center of vast empire and to protect the capital city from foreign invasions. These are the two important reasons to shift the capital city from Delhi to Devagiri. It's very important. Why Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri? It's very important. Why Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital from Delhi to Devagiri? There are two reasons behind this. What are those? To establish capital city at the center of the vast empire. Okay, to establish the capital city at the center of vast empire and to protect the capital city from foreign invasions. Okay, due to these two reasons, he shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri. Next, though the plan was good, proper precautions were not taken to implement this. As a result, innumerable common people suffered severely. Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri. Behind this, there are two important reasons. First one, to establish the capital city at the center of vast empire and to protect the capital city from foreign invasions. This plan was excellent, very good, but his officials didn't take proper precautions. Due to that, they failed in that operation. Okay. Next, experiment of symbolic coins. Okay. In that, when Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri and Devagiri to Delhi. Okay. In that experiment, so many people were died because these officials didn't take proper precautions. Due to that, common people suffered a lot. Okay, many common people suffered a lot. Next, symbolic experiment of symbolic coins. the value of the currency was made adjusted to value of gold, silver coins in circulation of its time. Okay, here during its time, what it done? The value of the currency was made adjusted with the value of gold and silver coins in circulation of its time. Next, he brought a gold coin named dinar and silver coin named aldi. Okay, adli. Okay, these are the two types of coins he brought into circulation. Okay, gold coin named dinar. He brought gold coin named dinar. Gold coin named dinar. Next, silver coin named adli. Okay, these are the two coins brought into circulation by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, gold coin named dinar, silver coin named adli. Okay, the coins were aesthetically designed. After a few years, the copper and brass coins were also brought into circulation symbolically. First, he introduced a gold coin named dinar and silver coin named adli. Later, he introduced copper coin and brass coins also. Okay, later he introduced copper coins and brass coins also. But all these coins designed aesthetically, okay, symbolically, he introduced the coins. Okay, first he introduced gold coins named dinar, silver coin named adli. Later he introduced this copper coin and brass coins also. Then minting coins was not vested with the government alone. It means he not only had permission to grant to mint the coins, but also he has given permission to mint the coins to the general public. Okay, so the minting coins was not vested with the government alone. Families who had traditional rights to mint coins were also there. Okay, along with the government, some families, those who had traditional rights, they were also coins. The coins were minted more than the required number without the permission of the Sultan. When the families had minted more crop in economy, what happens? Economy, what happens? When government printed more number of currency notes and minted more number of coins than the requirement means of currency notes and minted more number of coins than the requirement means money loses its value in front of the commodity. That's why department without permission of Indian Statistical Department, the RBI will not print more number of currency notes and mint the coins. Will not mint the coins also. If RBI printed more number of currency notes than the requirement and mint the more number of coins, then lose value in front of the commodities. So that's why, as per the rules and regulations of RBI and as per the rules of central government and as per the rules and regulations of Indian Statistical Department, this RBI prints the currency notes and mints the coins. But here what happened? When king had given permission to to some families, those who had traditional rights to mint the coins. And the time that families mint the more number of coins than the requirements. With that, what happened? This resulted in chaos or confusion. It means money lost its value in front of commodities on that time also. The state treasury became empty due to costly administrative experiments. Finally, the state treasury became empty due to its costly administrative experiments. Why? State treasury became empty due to costly experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, because he shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri. After few days, again from Devagiri to Delhi. In that experiment, so many people who died. Most of the people lost their property and their lives also. So that's why state treasury became empty because people will not engaged in any economical activities. Okay, Delhi to Devagiri, more than 1,000 kilometers are there. How it possible to walk 1,000 kilometers on that time by all people? Okay, so that's why many people injured and died in that experiment. The state treasury became empty due to costly administrative experiments, severe drought and arisen. Due to severe drought, also state treasury became empty. One due to costly administrative experiments. Next, second one due to drought, due to severe drought, and the process of reallocating the capital back and other measures. Okay, why state treasury became empty during the Muhammad bin Tughlaq's time? First one due to costly administrative experiments and due to this drought and due to shifting of capital city from Delhi to Devagiri and Devagiri to Delhi, etc. Okay, these are the some experiments of symbolic coins. Next about Deccan policy. Deccan policy of Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq implemented his administration in the areas conquered by him in Deccan. Okay, he had a Dwara, he conquered Warangal, the capital city of Kakatiya. See, Deccan policy. What is Deccan policy? Where he implemented that? Muhammad bin Tughlaq implemented his administration in the areas conquered by him in Deccan. He had conquered Warangal, the capital city of Kakatiyas. He also destroyed the Dwarasamutra, the capital city of Vaisalas. Okay, Muhammad bin Tughlaq conquered the city of Vaisalas. Madurai of the South India was conquered and Jalaluddin Hasan Shah was named as the governor. Okay. Madurai of the South India was conquered by Muhammad bin Tughlaq and he appointed Jalaluddin Hasan Shah who established a vast empire in India for the first time, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, so Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the first Delhi Sultan to establish vast empire in India. Muhammad bin Tughlaq organized a big army. Muhammad bin Tughlaq organized a big army. There were 27 rebellions in South India during his last 7 years. Okay, during his last 11 years, 11 years rule, 27 invasions he made. Okay, he made. Okay, 27 rebellions in South India made by Muhammad bin Tughlaq during his last 11 years rule. These rebellions led to the rise of Vijayanagara and Bahmani kingdoms. Okay, these rebellions led to the rise of Vijayanagara and Bahmani kingdoms against 27, 27 invasions or attacks by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay. I told you first who founded Tughlaq dynasty. This Ghiasuddin Tughlaq. Next after him, who ruled this Tughlaq dynasty? Who became the ruler of Delhi? Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He was a extraordinary man because he was very expert in mathematics, physics, astronomy, etc. Persian languages, Arabic languages, in Arabic language like that. About later Tughlaqs, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, who ascended the throne after Muhammad bin Tughlaq. First, this Ghiasuddin Tughlaq, after Muhammad bin Tughlaq, after Muhammad bin Tughlaq, this Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, Firoz Shah Tughlaq ascended the throne after Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He implemented Muhammad bin Tughlaq, sorry, this Firoz Shah Tughlaq implemented numerous people-friendly programs. Okay, Muhammad bin Tughlaq implemented people-friendly programs. He waived of Takkavi loans for the benefit of his subjects. Okay, he waived means banned, abandoned, okay, or prohibited Takkavi loans for the benefit of his subjects. He paid a compensation to the victims of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq paid compensation to the victims of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's innovations. Muhammad bin Tughlaq's innovations. The private mines used to taxed and also taxes were collected for providing irrigation facilities. During nowadays, government also collecting different uh, forms of tax. Okay, nowadays government, both central government and state governments, collecting money in the form of different tax. Okay, especially in the form of GST. Okay, and sales tax, custom duty, excise duty, like that. Different taxes are there. Why government is collecting money in the form of tax? To provide some basic facilities to the general public, like that. And the time this Firoz Shah Tughlaq collected tax, different forms of tax to provide irrigation facilities. Next, he abolished around 20 different taxes along with these two. Firoz Shah Tughlaq abolished 20 different taxes along with that too. Okay, tax on private mining also. Next, he built many cities, mosques, madrasas, dams, and irrigation canals. Being as the ruler of Delhi, Firoz Shah Tughlaq built many cities, mosques, madrasas, dams, and irrigation canals. Next, Jaunpur, Fatehbad, Hisar, Firozpur, Firozabad were the few important cities built by him. Which are the important cities built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq? It's very important one. Okay, which are the cities built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq? See first, Jaunpur, Fatehbad, Hisar, Firozpur, Firozabad were the important few cities built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Jaunpur was a famous learning center Okay, why this Jaunpur is famous for learning? Okay, so Jaunpur was famous learning center. Dharamshala were built for the benefit of travelers. Okay, in that Dharamshala cricket stadium also built recently. Dharamshala cricket stadium also built by BCCI. Okay, so Dharamshala were built for the benefit of travelers. So this is about detailed information. This is a detailed information about this Tughlaq dynasty. Okay, here in Tughlaq dynasty, only three persons are very important. First, founder Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Next, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Last, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Okay, they ruled from 1320 to 1399. Total 79 years. Tughlaqs ruled Delhi. Okay, so today's questions to you guys. First one, who was the founder of Tughlaq dynasty? Okay, who was the founder of Tughlaq dynasty? Next question, when did Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq founded Tughlaq dynasty? Next, who were the important rulers of Tughlaq dynasty? Who were the important rulers of Tughlaq dynasty? Next, what are the administrative reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? What are the administrative reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Next, why Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri? Okay, see once again, why why did Muhammad bin Tughlaq shift his capital city from Delhi to Devagiri? Next, which are the coins brought by Muhammad bin Tughlaq into circulation? Okay, which are the coins brought into circulation by Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Okay, which are the coins brought into circulation by Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Okay, gold coin named dinar, silver coin named aldi. Along with that, copper and bronze coins also he introduced. Okay. Next, what are the revenue reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? What are the revenue reforms of Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Right, separate revenue reforms. Next, what do you mean by Deccan policy? Okay, what do you mean by Deccan policy? Next, what do you mean by region? Okay, what do you mean by Doab region? Doab region. What do you mean by Doab region? Next, here some terms are there, important terms. Here in your reader, in bracket given, you write that. What do you mean by Kharaj? What do you mean by Kharaj? Kharaj means land tax on non-Muslims. Okay, Kharaj means Ashra. Ashra, Ashra means agriculture tax on Muslims. Okay, Kharaj means land tax on non-Muslims. Non-Muslims means on other than Muslims. Next, Ashra means agriculture tax on Muslims. Okay, Ashra means what? Agriculture tax on Muslims. Next, Zakat. Zakat means property tax on Muslim subjects. Okay, Zakat means what? Property tax on Muslim subjects. Next, Jizya. Jizya means religious tax on Hindus. It's very important. Okay, what do you mean by Jizya? religious tax on Hindus. These are the important terms you should keep in your mind. Okay, so you write what do you mean by Kharaj, what do you mean by Ashra, next what do you mean by Zakat, and last what do you mean by GGR. Okay, these are the homeworks to you. Okay, write the answers and send in your personal WhatsApp groups. Okay, in next class we will discuss about some other Delhi sultans like Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. Okay, now in previous classes and in this classes we have discussed about first Ghulam dynasty or slave dynasty. Next, see what is the short form of that Delhi Sultans? GK. GK means Ghulam dynasty or slave dynasty. Next, Khilji dynasty. Next, Sayyid dynasty. Next, Tughlaq dynasty. Sorry, GK. See that first this first Ghulam dynasty or slave dynasty. Next, K stands for Khilji dynasty. Next, T stands for Tughlaq dynasty. Next, Sayyid dynasty, and last Lodi dynasty. GKTSL, that is the short form of Delhi Sultans. GK stands for Ghulam dynasty, G stands for Ghulam dynasty or slave dynasty, K stands for Khilji dynasty, T stands for Tughlaq dynasty, S stands for Sayyid dynasty, L stands for Lodi dynasty. Okay. Now successfully we have discussed about Ghulam dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty. Only two left. They are Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. In next class we will discuss about Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. Okay. If you have any doubts, please ask in your personal WhatsApp groups and send the answers for that questions. Okay. Thank you guys. We will meet in next class.